Hey, what's up, guys? So I got a rematch with Gerhard, and if you didn't see, Gerhard beat me pretty badly. I think it was actually the very first week, first trial, and I had tried some things, and it was just like he one-shot everything. He was pretty low on his one shot. His score was like a 120, a 5120 or something like that, but I was a 40 something, so I was just getting stuck on so many things. And so what I want to do is just kind of go through and recap that and then talk about the changes I've made on my defense, as I may stream this tonight, and so the actual battles will be on a replay. So this is me, this is Gerhard. Gerhard is 75 mil, 3.5 mil STP, and I'm 88 mil, 3.4 mil STP. So in one, what I had last time compared to what I have now is I had the Rogue Extreme, and he cleared that. He used Superior 6. And in 2, I had the Spider Society and Tangle Web, and he beat that with Pegasus. It was not a great score, but he one-shot it. In 3, I had Out of Time, and so he beat that as well. It was a low score, but he beat it. I had the Black Order with Vulture in 4. He kind of beat that pretty easily. Well, he took some damage because he went in with New Warriors. It was a clear win, but he sustained a lot of damage, so his score wasn't great. And he beat my Infinity Watch. I want to say he used 8 Pocket Eternals. I can't remember now. It might have been Tangle Web or something like that. And I had Secret Defenders, Dorm, and Morgan in 6, and he beat that. So let's just take a look at what he has now. And so he has the same exact setup. His tunes could be a little bit stronger. I don't remember for sure. I know his Out of Time was a strong team, because that's where I got stuck and trying something that just had no chance of working on because I tried to go in with a one shot. But everything's the same. Even his Infinity Watch, my War Dogs couldn't beat them. I got hung up on Bifrost because I ended up using, to eventually clear room for it, I ended up using the Hive Mind there. And I don't think I was that familiar with the Hive Mind counter on the Bifrost at that time. So my original thought is just to play it safe. I'm going to go in with my Superior 6 on his 1 because I know I beat that before. My Hive Mind is actually about 100k punch down, so I'm going to definitely do that. And you can see this here coming in on his comment. So I'll just jump over that. Room 4, I'm going to go in with a sack, and he's suggesting to sack and just let it time out and don't take a turn to have better points. And so that's something that I may do. I'm not sure yet. And then for room 3, I'm going to go in with Cabal, because I beat this before. I'm going to go in with Cabal, Kang, and Skrull. And so with 4, like I said, sack it, and then I think my best bet is to come back with like an APOC, Tangle Web, Nova, and I may try Mysterio. I don't want to try that on the first go, because I just remember his team getting a chance to go and they slaughtered my APOC. And I went in with APOC on my second attempt, and then I had like no APOC. So I think in this case I gotta play it safe and go with a sack, because his team is just too well built, and hopefully he'll get stuck on one of my rooms. I'm going to use my Secret Defenders. They should do fine. And on his Secret Defenders, I'm just going to use New Warriors. So I think they should do fine. So we'll see how this goes. But that's the plan. And just got to hope that, like I said, he's going to trip up on one of my rooms. So this is stage 1. And I'm going to run this back for you guys just so you can see, as we get 600k Nightcrawler, 600k Gambit, 600k Rogue, the differences taking place. And he's got a 550k Forge. No Sunspot. It's probably not needed because it's just probably not built up enough. So you can just see the problems with the bigger tunes in this room. and it just looks like it's turning out to be the bigger the X-Men are, the better. So I had a lot of guidance on this, and I played it a little bit differently because I was on stream with Updog, and he was kind of guiding me, and I had a couple other guys chiming in and making suggestions along the way. And so that probably helped quite a bit because this is a much stronger extreme. I think even than he's got it stronger than when I faced him the last time. I think I still did not go, it was not as clean as most times when I battled the Extreme Rogue. But once again, he's gotten his Forge all the way up and his Nightcrawler and Gambit, so it took a while to get them out of there. And as you'll see, once I'm chipping down on the different tunes, the one that remains, because he's in stealth, is Gambit. And I'm already, you see my Green Goblin is already in the yellow, so you know that his ult is going to be problematic for my team as far as my health. So for room 2, we'll just let this play so you guys can see how it plays out. You won't see the buttons, but if you're familiar with Hive Mind, you'll know the moves. And the biggest thing is to start this off with Void Knight's special. And that is Void Knight special in the Sylvie. I've heard a couple different things, one being to go for the lowest tune. And you can't see it here, but I pressed to see which one was the lowest. And I think I ended up targeting Teen Loki. He wasn't the lowest just because his health started going down the fastest. But once Red Goblin hits, you can see the damage, and so it just really didn't matter. Especially that this was a slight punch down. But I think even in the chat or as we were discussing during this battle, a 500k punch up is pretty safe. Juicy did do a 1.5 million punch up, but just keep in mind that's Juicy. So in room 3, the original plan was to go in to his Cabal with Scroll and who was that? Dorm. And I was just gonna be somewhat of a mirror with my Scroll and Kang. And I had this team preset by mistake, so that's obviously not the way I should do it. I need to, when I'm making these teams up or adjust my teams from what is in my set roster, to not do that, because I clicked the play a little bit too fast, and Updog said, hey, weren't you supposed to go in? Or he was telling me, hey, aren't you supposed to go in with your Scroll on this? And I had just pressed the button and it was too late. It worked out. I have a very strong APOC, but it didn't have to. And maybe the score was actually better, than the other way. I don't think by much. So it'll be a good thing for you guys to see, because if you go back, you can see the same counter work with Scroll, or you can see it work with APOC, meaning your Cabal and Kang as the 4-piece. So I started off the same way, Kang into his Scroll with the special. And I think I got Scroll out of there this time. Not quite sure, because I don't think that happened last time, like off that first barrage of attacks, and then hit him again. It's almost like he revived three times. But that was really, and that's just because I think my Cabal is so much stronger. That was just really so much faster. And perhaps I didn't even need APOC. So here is where chat joked about me and said I should go in. The team that I have, I cleared them with, perhaps could have beaten them. That made me feel like it would be a stretch to beat this room. And I didn't want to get hung up on this room knowing I could just beat it with a sack. But let's just see how this plays out, because I don't think you necessarily need to see the sack, because you know how the sack would work when you see what's left here. But I do want to show the sack up until when I stalled it out, so you can see just how Gamma is doing in room 4. And that's mostly because my opponent used Gamma as his offensive team in room 4 this time and last time. But he has a huge gamma, so we'll talk about that when we get there. So, basically, Black Knight had his had his taunt up, and so this is why we just have to just kind of go into him. I had Red Hulk on the end, try to see if he can survive a little bit longer. And I just want you guys to see how this goes. The stamina of Gamma, even against out of time in here, just to be lasting this long. Especially, I have a level 100 Hulk and Red Hulk, so that has a lot to do with it. And then we'll just show how many moves it takes with the cleanup as to why this team may actually work going in. And as you can see, this is, what is it, 100K punch down? So maybe some would look at it as a punch across because it's so close, because it is a strong team. I just wanted to be for sure to clear this room and not have any rooms I didn't clear. And so you see Scroll comes in and just kind of wrecks him. But his one diamond Black Knight is right back up to full power. And look at Cap, I can do this all day, is healed up. Peggy is healed up. So that was my concern going in with the initial attack, is like they would be, Black Knight that is, would be countering. Cap will be energizing and then get his taunt maybe. And how would that play out? And so I think you guys have seen me go in enough times with Secret Defenders onto Infinity Watch. We're not going to show this, and this is another 900K punch down. But for me, it just makes it a very safe counter. I think even as a punch across, it's going to probably play out similarly. The efficiency may be lower point-wise, but this is still an 8365, so it's kind of high. So let's take a look at the next room. And so this is just straight New Warriors into Secret Defenders with full Secret Defenders with Doctor Strange. And I think that that's something to keep in mind, that Doctor Strange makes this team kind of tough. But let's just play this one out. And so I got a little guidance on this. Updog said go into Black Cat first, and you can see the negative effects on Strange. I usually would go for Robbie, and that probably was a good move because you see how much damage was done to Robbie leading into Black Cat, and so I'll probably start doing that. He actually did, the biggest thing he actually did say hit with the special, and that will be, was it Gwen or Firestar? And Firestar special, but I led with her ult. I don't think it made a huge difference, but it probably, maybe it would have had me with a slightly better efficiency, especially with the health side. So it's no telling, because it's possible had I not had my cloak at 9916, he maybe would have died. So now let's take a look at how my defense did. And I'm still not terribly upset with how this particular defense is playing out. And it actually goes pretty quickly overall. The thing is it just looks like the bigger your X-Men, the better. And so, Cyclops, well, not Cyclops, but Colossus is just pretty tanky. And it's just making me consider some things with him being so big, and where is the best use for him. And you see how the other guys just kind of fell over, but he's still there, Nightcrawler's still there. And so it's like, well, hey, what can we do with this? How can we make this better? And so I'm going to have to give that some real thought. Overall, with Room 1, mission is accomplished because he used his Superior 6 here. And as much as he had on defense, now he has no Superior 6 for my Room 6. And so he got hung up on Room 2. And that was, a hope. I didn't think it would happen this way. I'm not quite sure why he went in with this other team. But I think that was really tragic for him, because look at his APOC, 3 diamond. And now he doesn't have it anymore. And I'm not understanding the thought process to use Doom when you see a Kestrel. But, it's a learning experience, so we're going to just let this play. But let's show this first one just so you can kind of see why not to use that team. Specifically, Doom, and don't waste your APOC. And you can just see how fast Pegasus is. And this team would not be looked at as being fast what he's using. So I don't quite even understand what the thought process was here. Maybe just because they were big, he thought they could survive. But he knows now, just like I do, just like the rest of us do, just by watching this. And so the biggest reason to show that is just to show that how we have to have a delicate balance with our offense and defense. And I think he just has a little bit too much on defense. Not to mention that was just a bad judgment call on that last room. Just try to coin flip, didn't work, try to coin flip again. And here, this team was able to, because he didn't use his echo, they were able to get his health down. The question is, would all X-Men do the same? Or would, as Updog suggested, just put a big War Dogs in here because you're going to pull Masters of Evil? Would this score still be around at 83-62? You know, kind of regardless of whether it's the turn bonus or the health that gets, you know, kind of drugged down. And so you see how they come out. So if you don't have Echo, they come out pretty hard. His Absorbing Man is in trouble, you know, already. But after that, it just turns into the Massive Evil show. So I don't know that it really matters to have Eternals in here. You know, maybe I'll go back to another X-Men team. And maybe I will try out the War Dogs. I don't know. It's just kind of looking at how this is going. And they get a lot of retaliates. So, you know, one thing I've learned is if you're having some success, don't change it up midstream. And so maybe just with the rest of how the rooms looked to keep it. Because I'm not using my Eternals anywhere else. So that's kind of the thought process at the moment. Here, I was just trying a bunch of different tunes that have been seen in this room and like, hey, let's just put them all together. That being, you know, I'm only having 2 of the Black Order, or I guess really 1 when you look at Cole, and then you have Thanos. And then Quicksilver and Vulture. And it's like, okay, let's see how that works, along with Dorm, mostly because I didn't even think they'd get much damage in on a team until after Dorm revived them. The thing is he went in with Gamma, which I do think Gamma, if you have them built this big, I'm starting to see that they have some potential. I mean, if you look at his Red Hulk and his Hulk, both with 2 diamonds, you know, they're pretty huge. But this whole team is really big. He's got them all at G18. When I saw this the first time, I said, well, I guess there was a chance that they could win. And so let's just play this because this is an option if you do have a strong Gamma or strong compared to what's in this room 4, they can work, because he used Gamma on my Black Order Quicksilver and he beat it. It was not a great win. It was not high efficiency. It's just something to think about if this is what you have to use, if this is what's left. And so you see Quicksilver just going right in, doing work. Now, it looked like Red Hulk had got killed, so I don't know what kind of glitch that was there, but it happened in game. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that, because I don't know, but it definitely happened in the replay. And so you can see how She-Hulk is just doing her thing, throwing it all back. I was surprised at really how much the effective Vulture was with this group, because this is just an odd grouping of tunes. But he did work, and so I guess my opponent made a focus to get on the Vulture and try to get him out of there first. And as you can see, you know, Thanos is still alive and kicking, so that right there I think hurt them a bit. And he lasts pretty long, so he will get his snap in. And you can see Cole is right back to full strength. So I don't think this happens because he's going in with Gamma, and this is great. It's just dragging it out. And that's where, you know, he gives himself a chance. And I thought, just kind of looking at it, like, why is it not over? Because look at the damage that's getting put in But you see, Dorm goes again and really hits him hard. And Thanos is still alive. Quicksilver's still alive. And so these things just add up as the longer it drags out. So I'm not going to run back the cleanup. We can imagine how that went. Perhaps Weaver could have been a good choice going into it the first time, because I don't know if any of these tunes could really survive the blind and what that would do to them. But it is what it is. And so let's shoot over to room 5. This was kind of a sticky looking attempt here. And I don't know if he used this team before. He probably did. But because when you look at the size of them, you would think that it would go much smoother. I don't think I want to play it, mostly because you can see by the score, turn bonus is an 8 and the health is a 14. You can just see this is a slugfest, a typical Infinity Watch type results that you want, 83-47. So this is just going to help me no matter what, having him to use this on my Infinity Watch. And here is what I was hoping for, the main room to hold him back, because if you just have so much on defense, you're getting out of sync with this particular season. You do have to find your balance with your offense and your defense. And probably why when guys are looking at like, hey, your defense is light, it's light. Yeah, it is light, and I'm slowly trying to inch it up to be stronger, because I think not that I had anything special going on the very first week. I think the very first week, especially the day one, convinced me that, yeah, you're going to go heavy offense and lean into or slowly lean over to making a stronger defense. And I do believe as this season goes on, even though it's short, we will see stronger defenses, and that will take away from these super high scores that we're seeing, and we'll start seeing more scores like what this one will turn out to be, when you guys see the actual score, which you can imagine what it is. But let's just take a look at how the New Warriors failed here, and then we'll come back and take a look at how the Hive Mind did what they did to kind of finish it off. So in the beginning here, because there was some damage landed onto Black Knight by Gwenpool, it looks like that this could actually work. But they just heal up. Black Knight is countering. My Star Brand is just kind of small, so once he gets bigger, I think he would maybe have survived that. It didn't matter. The basic trio is so big, with the blocks over there in the corner, that they're just lasting it out anyway. And kind of why I put Ghost Rider in the corner there, like, let's just keep him as far away as we can so he can do that right there. And I think that's what hurt him the most, that Ghost Rider getting his ult off. And I don't think there was any recovery after that. And so it's unfortunate that now my Ghost Rider is so close to the team, but I guess it didn't really matter because they were going to get clumped in together anyway. But you can see even with the exhaust on there, this team is still coming out pretty strong and trying to win. Even beat the Hive Mind, 5 against 4. But at the end of the day, Hive Mind just takes its toll on them. And like I said, the exhaust on Black Knight is all it really takes. The team is just not going to be anywhere near as strong once that first attempt goes through. So this is the final score, guys, and I was pretty happy with the results. Got a rematch with Gerhard, won, and so now, as you can see, I'm 2-0 on this particular week. So we'll see who I get matched against, and it would be great to get a 3-0 because 1796. Okay, guys, so that's it for this one. Chat later.